There was a time when DC literally fused Superman and Batman into a single green villain powered by the entire legion of superheroes. That nightmare mashup is the Composite Superman, one of the strangest creations of the Silver Age. Today we're going to break down his origin, powers, and the wild stories that made him unforgettable. If you like this kind of classic comics content, hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you think Composite Superman should come back in modern stories. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Composite Superman debuted in World's Finest Comics number 142 in 1964, right in DC's wild Silver Age, when Superman and Batman already headlined a shared team-up book. Writer Edmund Hamilton and artist Kurt Swan pushed the idea further, fusing the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight into one eerie green figure split perfectly down the middle. In the story, this enemy calmly proves he knows Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne are Superman and Batman, then reveals he absorbed the powers of the Legion of Superheroes. Flight, super strength, shape-shifting, shrinking, and duplication turn him into pure power creep, a sharp example of how Silver Age comics pushed strange ideas right to the edge. Before becoming a villain, Joe Meach was a washed-up high diver whose career crashed after a botched stunt left him injured, broke, and forgotten by the crowds he once thrilled. Superman eventually saved him from a deadly fall and, trying to be kind, arranged a job for Joe as the night janitor at the Superman Museum in Metropolis. Surrounded by trophies, rockets, and statues celebrating the Man of Steel's greatness, Joe's initial gratitude slowly curdled into jealousy. Every glass case reminded him that he was a nobody cleaning up after a living legend, and that quiet bitterness became the emotional fuel that later turned him into the Composite Superman. The turning point comes during a stormy night at the museum, when a freak lightning bolt crashes through a window and strikes a display of miniature Legion of Superheroes statues. These tiny figures, brought back from the 31st century, had been exposed to strange future radiations that ordinary scientists barely understood. When the bolt hits, that energy erupts from the statues in a single blast and slams straight into Joe Meach, rewriting his body at the cellular level. In pure Silver Age fashion, there is no safety protocol or rational science, just wild comic book logic transforming a resentful janitor into a walking fusion of Legion power. Visually, the Composite Superman looks like a bad dream stitched together from Gotham and Metropolis. His skin is an unsettling green, and his costume is split clean down the middle, with Superman's bright blue and red on one side, and Batman's gray suit and dark cowl wrapping the other, including a mismatched cape. Covers often show this towering figure looming behind the world's finest duo, symbolizing that he claims to surpass both heroes at once. He is not a simple clone or Elseworlds fusion, but a jealous outsider weaponizing their symbols, turning the combined brand of Superman and Batman into something twisted and threatening. Power-wise, the Composite Superman is completely broken, stacking the abilities of Superman, Supergirl, Mon-El, Ultra Boy, and most of the Legion of Superheroes in one body. He can fly at impossible speeds, shrug off heavy damage, unleash heat vision, and still call on more exotic tricks whenever the story demands it. Borrowed powers from Phantom Girl, Invisible Kid, Colossal Boy, Shrinking Violet, Triplicate Girl, Bouncing Boy, Sun Boy, and others let him phase through walls, vanish, grow, shrink, split into multiple bodies, bounce like a ball, and blast energy. It feels less like fighting one villain and more like facing an entire team inside one costume. Once Joe Meach realizes how powerful he has become, he starts playing mind games instead of charging in fists first. Using telepathy borrowed from Saturn Girl, he casually scans thoughts and discovers that Clark Kent is Superman and Bruce Wayne is Batman, unlocking the most dangerous secret in the entire world's finest dynamic. Instead of exposing them immediately, he leaves taunting messages in the Fortress of Solitude and the Batcave, forcing both heroes to meet him on his terms. From there, he sabotages missions, turns buildings into kryptonite traps, and rigs rescues so that Superman and Batman look incompetent while the mysterious newcomer shines. With his new status, the Composite Superman does not settle for petty crime or simple revenge. He aims straight for global dominance. Combining strategic thinking with stolen Legion tech, He constructs elaborate headquarters and devices, treating Earth like a chessboard where he can outplay both the Justice League and every government on the planet. What makes his schemes unsettling is how personal they always feel. Every move is designed to humiliate Superman and Batman first, then conquer the world second, as if proving that the legends of Metropolis and Gotham were always overrated. For a villain born from jealousy, ruling the Earth is really just a bonus prize. Despite all that power, there is a built-in weakness the heroes do not know about at first. The strange future radiation from the Legion statues only charges his body for a limited time, and as that energy slowly fades, his abilities start to flicker, opening tiny gaps in his invincibility that he desperately tries to hide. When the charge finally runs out, he loses his powers and even forgets his actions as the Composite, reverting to ordinary Joe Meach with no memory of his crimes. Instead of a dramatic last punch, Superman and Batman win because the impossible science that created their enemy simply cannot sustain a living god for long. Years later, the story takes a darker turn when an alien named Zan, seeking revenge on Superman and Batman for his father's defeat, recreates the original accident that birthed the Composite Superman. Joe Meach is transformed once more, this time pushed back into a role he no longer truly wants, loaded again with Legion-level power. During the final confrontation, Zan fires a devastating Magna gun blast meant to erase the heroes from existence. In a sudden moment of clarity, Joe steps between the beam and its targets, sacrificing himself to save the very men he once tried to destroy. He dies as a janitor turned unlikely martyr, not as the monster in green. Even after Joe Meach's death, the idea behind the Composite Superman refuses to disappear. Later stories toy with successors like Amalgamax and reimagined fusions in Superman-Batman annual issues, turning the concept of a combined Batman and Superman into a recurring nightmare that writers can update for new generations. Outside the comics, echoes of the idea show up in Justice League Unlimited, Lego Batman 3, and other media, where a merged or corrupted world's finest briefly appears. Each new take nods back to that wild Silver Age original, proving that a jealous janitor empowered by the Legion can cast a surprisingly long shadow. And that's our deep dive into the wild history of Composite Superman. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, drop a comment telling me your favorite moment, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.